Welcome to She's All Over the Place. I am so excited to have you here. I have an exciting episode today and with a beautiful stand-up comic that's from Detroit. He goes by the name of Sherrill. And I met him in Clubhouse and I heard him, I connected. I'm like, Detroit roots, what? And I'm just like, yo, I would love to have you on my show. And he said yes. And so he's here. And listen, this show is to inspire you. It's for the person who wants to take actionable steps to be an entrepreneurial in their life. If you want to share this with a family or a friend, then please do. Spread the love, support artists, and definitely you're in for an exciting show. So, with no further ado, I would like to introduce Sherrill. Corey, thank you for being here.
Hey, what's going on? I'm so happy to be here, Katie. You're totally awesome. It's crazy how we like clicked up on Clubhouse instantly, like Detroit, and then I saw how talented you was, and I'm like, oh wow, she's amazing. So it felt great to just have someone come in and show me some hometown love, especially with having Tiffany Haddish on stage. Like everyone who was on stage from Toronto, which is like my mentor in the game, who's been like a huge influence for me. So it was like dope to have someone come in and say, "Hey, Detroit," like I absolutely loved it.
Yeah. So we'll have to talk more about Tehran. But I was thank you for all that. And it was a magical stage that we were on. It was the Laugh Factory stage, the Laugh Factory out of Los Angeles, California.
Yes.
And I mean, I grew up in LA, so I was going past Sunset Boulevard like multiple times a day. You would just cruise down Sunset Boulevard. It's like the thing to do.
Yeah.
The Laugh Factory, isn't that Pauly Shore's mom's joint?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Yeah, and when I first moved to Hollywood at the end of 2001, my first like big time huge event, Pauly Shore was there and I was there and I like he was like passing me and I went right up to him and we had this magnetic connection and we were just like boom and we were like, I love you, how are you? We were hugging. It was so crazy. It was like we knew each other, but we didn't know each other. But I don't know if it was just that synergetic, energetic connection,
No,
like
that's it.
when you connect and meet people, or if it was from watching movies growing up. But it's the same vibes of us being on stage together and connecting that way, like on Clubhouse. Like seriously, there were 4 Detroit artists. Besides me, there was five total, and I've never been on a panel or
Wow.
in a space where it's like, yo, like Detroit. 2 people were from Flint. I was like, this is so cool. Like this is where I belong. It was like
Yes.
it was really fun. So it was neat to, be a part of that community. So ping me in and don't forget about me. Always keep
I
me in the
won't.
loop. Cool. So you're from Detroit, and where in Detroit are you from?
I'm from the west side of Detroit, 7 Mile. So what's up to everybody from the west side of Detroit? CoreyBE. I love Detroit. I feel like I'm from the heart of the city, like 7 Mile and Livernois area.
Wow, you are actually from Detroit, like West Side. That's so amazing. So I grew up 7 Mile West Side, but in the suburbs. So like I am like you just go straight
Yeah.
a little more west and like you'll
Yes.
be at my parents' house.
Okay.
Seriously. But my
So you're
mom and
like
dad,
Ferndale.
Ferndale, Pat, keep going
Okay.
like 30 minutes. Keep going.
Okay. Gotcha.
Well, on the freeway, Royal Oak, the Detroit
Okay.
Zoo.
Okay.
If you go 17 more minutes on that 696 96, you just keep going west, then you get off at 7 Mile. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
yeah. So, like, seriously, but still, it's 7 Mile. It's the
The
same.
directions that you gave me were like this, but I get it. I get it. I know where you're at for sure.
Oh, Ferndale. So if you're like you just keep going west.
Okay.
You just keep going west side. Just keep going west to the suburbs. But I grew up going to parties in Detroit, like electric EDM parties before like DJs were big in Western civilization. Yo, okay, can I tell you a story real quick?
Sure, please. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Okay, so when
So,
I was a teenager on Halloween, there was the huge headliner, Outcast, with guess who?
who?
Eminem, and he was unknown.
Whoa.
And I'm right here for people on the video. I'm right here, and here's the stage. And I'm like this little girl watching this white rapper perform with Outkast. And that was me.
That was dope.
Yeah. So tell us tell us some stories, like 1-2 stories about Detroit growing up there and some your experiences.
Well, first of all, I want to say I love Detroit. I love what they're doing in Detroit right now, downtown Detroit. Shout out to Mumford High School. Well, being a Detroiter, it's a lot of different things that we all debate on that we're like big on. One thing for sure, we're big on our sports teams. Okay, so like even though the Pistons, they never like kind of was like a team that was like desired team, but we were a tough team, you know. And so like I remember when I began to want to be like a Michael Jordan fan, my grandmother like literally telling me like, no, you can't get any Michael Jordans. You can get these Grant Hills. And so like she invested like, no, we're gonna be Detroit Pistons fans until till we win a championship or something. So I think just like sometimes having bad sports teams, and when like Barry Sanders became really good and became popular, just being happy. But all of my members in my memories of Detroit has really been about like more of a country aspect, because a lot of my family migrated from Alabama to Detroit, and so just that southern aspect of like what a lot of us Detroiters have, I believe. Like I want to say that because like it's not like New York. New York is totally like you could go here, go here. Detroit is more like home. Like people have backyard parties, and so like that's where the comedy started for me. In the sense was like the barbershop. Like we had the real true barbershop experience where your barber was so funny or whatnot, you know. So
like
I kind of
like you see in the movies, right? They
Oh,
have those
absolutely.
scenes, and that's because it's part of the culture. Oh, that's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Tell me another story about Detroit. Like maybe some favorite places you like going to in
Okay.
Detroit, memories.
Cajun boiling crab, I want to say, is one of my favorite spots to go to. I love the seafood. There's really good. They got the crab backs or whatnot. That's on McNichols. And then the thing that you have to, so that's one of my personal favorites, but something that's like just amazing is you got to experience a Coney Island experience, okay? You got to know what to get, okay? So like my Coney dogs, I love the Coney Island experience. So when I come home, that's like my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, and I'm Greek, so the Greeks own all those Coney Islands in
Come
Detroit.
on. So shout out to all your cousins. Like, please give me a discount, guys. Now, when you see me, I should not have to pay taxes. Okay. I mean, no, like the Coney dog.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So when we're both in Detroit, we're gonna make a plan and go there together. Okay.
We should do it. We can like go. Maybe we can go on a hunt to find like the best Coney dog experience.
Okay. Okay.
We can do it.
Yeah. Well, I'll ask some people. We can ask, we'll ask. So
we can do like a research. We can find out.
Yeah.
We can find out. We could go there. I can be the tester. Like I don't really eat meat, but like I think that's like I'm like health conscious.
You're plant-based?
No, I'm more like on the pescatarian side of things.
Yeah.
I flirt with meat.
Huh. I was a pescatarian for like more than a decade, for sure. I'm all about it. I know what you mean, but I just started eating beef not too long ago. I did my Viome. Have you done your Viome?
No.
You need to do your Viome. I'll tell you about the details about it, but you definitely need your Viome. It's all about gut intelligence and your gut health. And for me, I need to have beef. So it's everybody's different, but for me specifically, and I'm not an affiliate with them, so I'm not getting a 10% discount or anything right now. But I definitely know he was on Jay Shetty's podcast, and I listened to Naveen, he's a multi-billionaire. He went to the University Singularity. He has a beautiful family, and he created Viome for the health of humanity. So he doesn't make money from it. It's just costs, and he didn't do it to make money. He's already a multi-billionaire. But I know I listened to Jay Shetty's podcast that he's on, and I know Jay Shetty has a podcast, and his code is like Jay Shetty 10 or just Jay Shetty. So if anyone's listening to this and they want their Viome, there you go. But yeah. So moving right along, you're in New York City. When did you move to New York City?
I moved to New York City 3.5 years ago. I moved to New York City, and my goal was to pursue like my comedy career, acting. And so I kind of studied the comedians around me, who was popular, how guys market. Just kind of hung around the comedy clubs and just kept it quiet. I didn't talk to many people or whatnot. And just studying and understanding my delivery. I was really looking at confidence, like the mentality of the comedian. So I was there almost as if I was judging content of what they believed the content to be. So it wasn't necessarily if I found it funny, just looking at how he positioned what he came to give us. And so that helped me have a mentality to know what I wanted to bring to comedy and what I wanted to bring to the, to the person that was listening, and to have a better confidence.
Great. And then, so you went as an observer before you started doing the open mic circuit then?
Yes, yes.
And how long were you the observer? Are you a Scorpio by chance?
No, July 22nd. So
okay.
I'm fire and desire. I'm a Cancer and a Leo. I'm on the cusp. So you
wow.
get 2 for the price of 1.
Very cool. Very cool. So you went in your because I know so you went and observed and you did research and you studied. And then how long did you do that before you started doing your first open mics?
So that took me I want to say I spent the summer doing that.
Great.
Just no performance, just watching.
And did you like go to because they are like some are earlier, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Did you go to like bounce around like 1, 2, 3 shows like all around New York City?
No. What I would do was I went to every club. I found out, like, I was looking at people's social media accounts, seeing who was going to be at this place, looking at like the flyers like of shows, and I would just watch each. Like I would go to like, for example, I went to the Cellar once. I went to it's so many clubs that's out here. New York Comedy Club. I went there once. West Side Comedy Club, and I would go to Stand Up New York. I would go there once, and once I saw what I saw, I let that be, and I wrote, and I became engulfed him. So I didn't hang out too long, and then I built my money up to market. So I got a job here to save up so I can be able to market myself, because I wanted to have my own comedy night. So I already kind of had an idea that I wanted to invest in myself, because I saw the marketing. I didn't want to be the comedian that need other comedians to push me. I wanted to be the comedian to push himself.
Great. I love that. Did you go to the Grizzly Pear?
Yes.
It's so like downstairs underground.
Yes. I love that. That's actually one of my favorite places to go to.
On McDougal Street. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, that's a cool street. I love that street. Back in the day, Yoko Ono, she had a Monday night. My former manager, his dad had it was a Cafe Wa, and Yoko Ono had Monday nights there, and it was called The Happening, and it would be every Monday, and there was no alcohol, so they could stay past open till like 4 in the morning. But Jimi Hendrix performed there before he became Jimi Hendrix, and my former manager's dad actually gave him the $1,000 to go to London and do that performance. And I guess he like thanked 4 people, and it was
oh wow.
Yeah, I know. So that street is legendary, McDougal Street in New York City.
No, it is. It's very legendary.
So did you study comedy? Did you take comedy classes? If so, who did you study with? How does that look for you?
All right, so with comedy, Ali Sadiq is the guy who I study. So Ali Sadiq is to me, he's a legendary comedian. I mean, he's written for some of our top comedians in the world. From the Dave Chappelle's, he's worked along with so many people just in comedy. He has so much respect. It was his journey that was similar to mine. Growing up in Detroit, Michigan, I am one that I suffer from like a lot of kids in the inner cities and these broken communities. In a sense, we kind of suffer from not having the same normalcies as others. And so for me, Ali Sadiq, with knowing that he had a story where he was, in a sense, trying to break a generational curse. I mean, we all are in one way, whether it's just like love your family better, whether if it's like, if you're trying to break something, you want to be better, it doesn't matter if yours is different than mine. The fact that we want more is so dope. And so like for him, his story was so similar to mine that with him going to prison and being incarcerated. And he went to prison at 17 years old. He did 6 years. And I went at 17 years old. And I don't even mind talking about it. It was I don't want to make light of it, but it was conspiracy to a robbery and being young, having some friends that had a BB gun and just things got out of hand and not knowing and not knowing that I should have been focused on the help that I needed. Because at this time I was a homeless kid and I was going through so many things in my life at that time that I believe a young man shouldn't have to deal with. I should have still been consistently asking for help. You cannot ask for help enough, whether if you go to the fire department and ask for help, if you not have a healthy living, or if you go to your neighbor or a teacher, but you have to ask for help. And so just going away for so many years, Ali Sadiq, his book, A Life, how he walked and what he did to become him, seeing it, being able to experience someone that's similar to you, contrary to looking in the past and looking at people to motivate you. I had a guy right in front of me before me. That's what inspired me into comedy. And outside of saying the Richard Pryors and the George Carlins, I mean, there's so many names out here that don't get spoke about with how great they are. And so he's definitely my focal point that I would like to name today, outside of the greats that we all can debate. You know?
Okay, well, a couple of things I would like to have their names and put them in the show notes so people can look them up.
Absolutely.
That's cool. Also, at the beginning when you were sharing at the start, I got chills in my body. I'm getting chills now still, and I feel this space within myself, and I have some questions, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So initially there was dysfunction in the home for you to be homeless.
Well, my mother was a prostitute and a drug addict, and so I lived with a classmate my entire high school. So he ended up going to college to Notre Dame, and I had a scholarship to play ball, and it was just a thing of my last year. His mom said, "You need to find somewhere to live, Corey," and I had no family to really call and contact, and I'm 16 years old at this time, and I'm like, call my cousin. My cousin said, you can live with one of his cousins, and I lived with his cousin, and they were kind of like some thugs. They were some guys that was trying to let their frustrations out in a different way. If there was no leadership, it was like, I'm 16 going to a 21-year-old who's hurt too, and that's living in a home that's broken and that has no structure. And so that was the predicament that I was genuinely in. And I did go to my principal and tell her and told her my dilemma. And they were trying to find me help, but I ended up
to hear.
Yeah,
That's so good to hear, though.
They were trying to find me help.
It's so good that you were actually that you opened up and went to the school. That's great.
I stayed with my coach for a couple of days. So it was like but it's still overwhelming to have a kid that you have to take care of for a whole year.
Yeah.
That's a lot on someone. And then you don't want to just say, go to the system. And so when we have what the solution for this, because I want the listener to know, I mean, so many people I'm sure that's writing comments or have something that they may want to say. The solution for this, because I'm not a person that just rides on the negative story, and feel free to ask me anything, is that we have to have more programs that if someone's in this situation where they don't know where they can sleep at, and you're young and you don't feel like you have shelter, because everyone knows what that is. We should have programs that set up to where that child now doesn't feel as though they're left behind, or that they have to go to a Job Corps type of institution where it's like program. Oh, like Job Corps is like sort of like prison. It's a system. We need more home based programs. You may learn different than me. So people in different living situations, like how I was, where I had nowhere to go. If I would have had help, I probably would have turned out a lot different. However, I'm here today. And this is the most important thing.
Yeah, and there's some kind of analogy where some people say, like, before we come, if you saw the movie Soul, did you see the amazing film Soul?
Yes.
So it's like we choose to come to this life. So it's like all the things that are happen, we know it, and we choose the circumstances because it's our way to, like you say, break generational trauma and evolve and learn and be a leader and utilize transmuting that now into your craft, into your art. And they say the greatest comedians are the ones that are so funny. They're the ones that understand the depths of the soul and they've been hurt so much that they just want other people to laugh because they know how painful it is. AKA, or now not AKA, but I guess a reference that comes to mind is Robin Williams, God rest his soul. You know how, people know the pain. And so I'm sure you've gone through a lot of mental struggles with everything we're talking about. I'm a big advocate for mental health. I have my own stuff that I've worked through. It's not about me right now, but I feel ya and I understand. And so one of the things for you to do and loving Detroit, are you going to curate and team up with people? What is one of your goals and visions to provide that stability and platform with your voice and your name through comedy, with your affluence as an entertainer for humanity? Are you going to do those kind of things maybe in Detroit for the people there?
Yes. Well, for me, in Detroit, what I have going on already, I brought up a comedian by the name of Wavy Crockett out of Detroit. So he's based in Detroit, and I've also linked with like the Duro Earls, so many different comedians that's there, Mike Larry, and I'm forming a brotherhood and a system of just like open dialogue on creativity. And also I want to say is I'm also pushing. I have my own foundation that I work with, Grill World, and where I just promote like going to counseling. I went to Landmark Forum. I believe counseling and finding some way of to go to someone that you can talk to and let this out. There's outlets for the frustrations or the things you don't get, the things that you don't know, and the whys. There are solutions for those things. And so just showing that the youth that, look, man, your stories like mine, this is how you can format the story you do want, and a lot of it is writing down what you want your life to be like and how you look for it to be. And then now you go ahead and you make that into existence. You go ahead and be strong and stern. So I hope I'm answering your question. Like, I love this interview, by the way. So.
Oh, you're so sweet. Me too. Yes. I'm just like right in it. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. So you don't know what you don't know that you don't know that you don't know. The white canvas Landmark.
Hey.
So how far along did you get in Landmark?
Oh, that's a good question. I love the questions. Oh, all right. Well, I was like a potential poster boy for Landmark. Okay. I came in there, I was like the NBA symbols. I mean, Landmark is great. I mean, it's everything is what you take, man.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, I mean, Landmark definitely conditioned me to know that I can get outside of the things that were holding me back, and I did.
Yes.
No, I'm not claiming no organization.
Yeah.
But I will honestly say that my experience was nothing but fruitful, great. I'm grateful, and it was definitely one of the most dearest things ever happened to me in my life. I'll never forget Landmark Forum.
I agree.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I agree. I'm right there with you. I'm all about it. I only did the first program. I didn't go on. My partner Nikki Scorpio, he like full on went like full all the way.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, buddy, that's good for you. I'm good. Yeah. I'm good right here. But Yeah, that's cool. And then the next thing is I was wondering, so just kind of like a sidebar joke. So you're not an affiliate for them or anything, like just kidding.
Yeah. We've been watching you. We've been watching you, Katie. We want you back, Katie. We
Oh
need
yeah.
you. No. No. Anytime people are always scrutinized by what they stand for. And I mean, at least someone's trying to stand for getting people through their breakthroughs. I mean, look at us. We have America that says, on one hand, in God we trust, which we should. But then we won't even tell people that milk doesn't do the body good. Right. We will not. Yeah. We will not tell people. So, I mean, I look at Landmark Forum. You have to be courageous to stand up and say you want to help people. I'm telling you, man, because there's people that could help people, but they don't. So, it was definitely a time that I needed.
Because America has been domesticated. We've been conditioned and domesticated to, be small. No. Oh, well, fine. Discipline is good to a certain extent. Exactly. But yeah, we need, but we're primal beings,
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but to be able to break out of our own conditionings, to break out, to be a leader is a responsibility, right? Right. It's ability to respond. So the next thing I want to know about, speaking of the Detroit artists that you're bringing up and the community in Detroit, what about the comedy clubs there? Because I didn't grow up going to any comedy clubs in Detroit. I just knew one in like my local area, but you had to be 21, so I wasn't able to go. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay. I want a special shout out to Kip Fowler. He's a promoter in Detroit, where he has like a lot of the rooms, the smaller rooms throughout Detroit, and he's definitely promoting for a lot of artists to be able to have a voice in Detroit and to be able to work and kind of work material and get that hard rooms. But I think that we could have a better comedy scene in Detroit. I'm not in my opinion, a more diverse scene, because we have a lot of comics. But then you have to look at like the market. What does our market allow us to have? So our market produces a lot of dope talents. I mean, a lot of dope talents. Tim the Tool Man. I mean, I can go to a lot of people from Michigan that's like just very talented. I just think that I would love to have more of a community, how maybe LA artists have, in the respect for the different genre of comedians. So I haven't really witnessed that, but it feels good to know that I come from John Witherspoon. I mean, so many comedians that's from Michigan that's like super dope. That's pops off of Friday. I don't know if you're familiar with John Witherspoon.
No.
Not John. Yeah. John Witherspoon.
No.
John Witherspoon. He's on he plays on Boondocks. He's the father's on Boondocks.
All right, I'll have to see it. It's a good show.
You have to check it out.
It's a good show?
Yeah, it's funny.
Okay, cool.
Boondocks is pretty funny. Regina King is the producer. It's a pretty legendary show, actually.
Oh, cool. I like her. I was on a talk with her, and it was right after the riots, and SAG had a panel of they call it like diversity or people of color or something like that, and Sterling Brown was on the panel.
Oh wow, Sterling Brown was on the panel? That's so dope.
And Regina King, and I was being an ally, and I was like, yo, I'm like, listen, there's 150,000 people in the union. I'm like, only X amount of people were at this event. I'm like, people need to be showing up more. And I was like calling out my union members. I'm like, you need to be showing up and like being at these meetings to educate yourself on like what we can do for actionable steps and stuff. And then my mind was going all wild, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to produce, because I'm a producer. I'm like, I'm going to curate and produce an event where I produce it, but I'm going to hire an African American or an African writer, director, and all talent, and just hold space to do that. So it was like something I was curating and putting it together so I could take actionable steps. And then I started like taking actions to just being more mindful of how I could be an advocate and learn more. Like real quick, if you want to hear, not really quick, but a brushstroke, if you want to know, something I would like to share with you, I guess.
Absolutely.
Which I haven't shared ever on my podcast or anywhere, but I'll just share with you here. that when the riots happened, I was so emotionally frustrated, and I was going through some other things, as we all were during the pandemic. But I was so frustrated, and I was like, just gonna take a nap to take a load off, and I went to go lie down, and I just couldn't. And I was so restless. I just popped into my studio and I recorded a piece, and I told my story. And I told my story of turning a blind eye, and how I was taught to turn a blind eye, and how I didn't know certain things. And when I was little, I only watched the news like twice, because I'm very sensitive and empathic. So I never watched the news, because I knew at a young age these people are being brainwashed. I would see my mom and dad, and they were just like being like, they were just in the news, and it was like all these fires and like deaths, and like everyone
Yeah.
being arrested. And it was just like, now that I know what I know, because I'm like older but still youthful, but I'm know what's up. It's like, those people were set up. Look what was
Right.
happening. Now it's all being filmed, as we all know, like Will Smith said, and God bless George Floyd, and him, and Breonna Taylor. But prior to that, when at a young now that I'm reflecting on it, and I'm like, oh my God, when I was little, although I didn't watch it, like I heard about it, all the homes being burnt. Who was really burning those homes? Why would because when I was a kid, I remember, like, why would people want to burn their own homes? Yeah, their homes were probably being burnt down. They probably weren't burning
Exactly.
their own freaking homes. And all the murders and things they were saying, they were killing, like, people in Detroit were killing each other. But were the people in Detroit really killing each other? No, it was probably what we already know. Maybe the police doing things, stepping over boundaries because of those all those circumstances. So anyway, I was taught, like, to turn a blind eye, to not say anything, to, like, not
Right.
say
Kind of like,
anything
don't worry about what doesn't have
happen to
nothing to
you.
do with you. Like a lot of people do that. Like just, and let me say this. The thing that why I'm so passionate about when I hear women speak about what Black people are going through, is because women, in a sense, is like the closest thing, like any woman of color is so close to the experience. In my opinion, this is just one version of my opinion, can relate, because how many times as a woman your voice wasn't matter, or how men can over sexualize women, or the rights that women had to go, like the right to vote, just, I mean, the
Yep.
pay, just the fact that a lot of women, just being a friend with a male, just the cautionary flag that you have to put up just because you're a woman. So for me, I'm very passionate about the George Floyd situation. I'm very passionate about us standing up for what's right. I mean, it's time, man. We should be so happy with where we're evolving as humans, from just looking back then into looking at where we are now, to be optimistic, man, about having a better world where humanity matters, not color,
Yeah.
not this and not that, not things that we should be able to instinctively just say, look, man, everyone should be treated with love. Everyone should get a fair education. So these things are extremely important to me. And I love that we connect on that level. Like hearing, because it's like your version is like, it's not, we have this stereotype, hey, I feel bad for you, I want to help. But yours is like, you have personal depth, like you remember, like wondering like what's going on. And I want you to know that, like, I feel good now that tomorrow you can remember this conversation and say, wow, I'm a part of crews that know that we can make better together, that we can walk hand in hand and make better together. And that's the goal. And I believe that that's going to happen, man.
It's happening. I have chills running in my bodies nonstop. So just so you know, but yes,
Yes.
it's happening. It's happening. It's happening. And to get more prolific on it, if you don't mind, is
Sure.
you know, like, injustice and being raped for over 400 years. Like, it is rape. You know what I mean? It is just like, there's spiritual rape, there's, rape. And it's like, it's not okay to be stripped away and to be taken advantage of in that way, and
Absolutely.
that's what's happened with the African culture. And yes, it happens with other cultures, and unfortunately, but so I just want to definitely acknowledge that. And like you said, we are holding hands hand in hand, and we are breaking the generational trauma
Yes.
and the
Yes.
energetic grids and patterns that was injustice, that don't serve us, that were false, that were like falsely accused and falsely portrayed. And that's where some noise and some eruptions come, because people aren't going to like it. But we're not responsible for what other people like. We're only responsible for sharing the truth.
Hey, it looks like me. You could be a pretty good politician team. I said, yeah, what she said. Yeah.
What's
That's
up,
right.
Detroit?
I'm giving for Katie, guys.
Yes, we're doing something in Detroit.
Yeah, we're like, you see, I got my finger to point. We both got our pointing fingers.
Yeah.
Me and her, we like to point at it. We can point. That's right, girl.
Yeah. For all you need to go, if you're listening, just go to the YouTube on the Sophisticated Psychos channel and just watch our pointing session back and forth over here. Yeah, but
that's
seriously,
right.
It's up to us. We can do it. Like what I wanted to do years ago. Oh, seriously, what I wanted to do years ago, which I haven't done yet. Like I'm a DJ. I DJ, and like you do comedy. So what we can do is curate now and connect with the people that we know and set up certain events, outdoor events and things like that, plan it and plant seeds just to manifest. Bring your homies, bring the artists. I'll bring some people. We can connect more and get a sponsor and have an event, and we can talk about things and have a conversation and bring people, and
I love the sound of that.
Yeah, let's do that. And then what we can do is with about promo and marketing, we can have the conversation about it online so people are knowing about it. So when people come, they come with kindness, and they come with compassion, and they come knowing it's like a kind of like a peace festival, and it's a beautiful
that it's about growth.
Yeah.
When you know something's about growth, it doesn't even mean that we're pointing at you or we're saying you're not doing nothing. We're just saying, hey guys, let's all grow. I love it.
Yeah, so let me share something with you really quick, and then I want to get more into the comedy.
Absolutely.
So my friend Michelle, she's not from Michigan, but she's lived in Brighton for 15 years, and she is quote unquote called like one of those brat kids who went all around, army brats, like her family. So she is like amazing, and she takes the local community stuff, and she goes to DC, and she speaks for the people, and she runs actually a small women-owned business here that employs 15,000 women. And so she and you and I are gonna talk with her and curate something, but she is like the generator to make it happen. So listen, she was on my podcast. You have to hear it. So she created, let me tell you, at the beginning of the pandemic, she was supposed to be going to Africa, but she just to speak to these women. She thought it was a couple hundred women in Africa, and her partner is Annie, who is a part of the president of the African Women's President Association in Africa. And then they did this Zoom thing that's on my YouTube channel, The Sophisticated Psychos, with the former like CEO of the Mandela Foundation, this gentleman. So long story short, she wasn't able to go to Africa to speak to these women because of the pandemic. So they did a Zoom, and then they did a Zoom. There was 1,800 women, African women in Africa, who were losing their businesses, fashion businesses, who were losing their businesses. So she went home. She was at home. She meditated, and she said, if not me, who? If not now, when? So then she took action. She raised $1 million for these women in Africa, 1,800 women, and created the Manna Box Project. And yeah, that's who I stand for. That's what I'm about. Yeah, she's gonna love you. She's gonna love you. And we're gonna do what we're doing, and we're gonna make this happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I'm just a reflection of you, man. From when I met you, like, I think podcasts, sometimes you kind of know what you're going to get, and with you, I just love your energy around like how we met, what you present, hearing your artistic vulnerability. I mean, you're dope. You're not asleep. I'm not sleeping on you as an artist. So that's why I'm here. Like when I heard you saw me try to defend. I'm like, hey, wait, no, she's dope.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm like, she's dope.
Okay.
Quick.
Speaking of dope, is it? I was gonna ask a question, but I kind of want to pivot. I'm feeling it. If now or after this question, it's up to you. But
Whatever.
can you like for the listener and viewer, can you do like a couple of your bits for us? Like some
Sure.
jokes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Do you want to do that
Uh,
now or in a little bit? It's up to you.
I mean, I can do it now. It doesn't matter.
Are you sure? Should we make the audience wait? Just kidding.
I mean, the audience. Let's make a wait just a little bit. I end it off with that. I end you guys off with some laughter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's I like a good tease. But before we move along, so you have a club in Clubhouse. For anyone who isn't on Clubhouse, it's amazing. And you have a club. So
Yes.
how do people find you on the club, and what is the club about? So the club is called the Comedy Court. And how do we follow the club, the Comedy Court? And why should we? And tell us more. I mean, obviously you're there. That's your club.
Well, okay. So my club event house is the A-list club.
Oh, the A-list club. Yes.
The A-list club, and my show that is on there, my improv show, is Comedy Courts.
Is the A-list, who started the A-list club?
So I started the A-list club December 9th.
Oh, so okay, so you started the A-list club, and then you have a show called the Comedy Courts.
Yes.
And then do you have other artists do shows in your A-list club?
Yes.
Dope. You are such a leader, natural born leader. I love that.
I have like 10,000 followers almost since December.
Holy camoles. That is booming, people. That is so cool. I love that. And it's every single Monday, and it's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 6 p.m. Pacific. And if you're in Philippines or India, then you have to look at your phone to decide how to get there.
I was going to say, she's a bad mother.
You're outside of America. You know what to do. Just get
there. If you like would have just read off everyone's time zone, I would have been like overly impressed.
Oh, I'm not that smart.
You would have got texts from people like, hey, what time is it over? And I'm like, Siri.
Yeah. So you haven't done any performances in the stand-up clubs in Detroit because you started researching and you started doing stand-up in New York?
Yes. I heard that it was the toughest place to do it. So I said, I might as well either start my career somewhere tough and I didn't realize how hard it was, but I came out pretty natural.
You're like me. You like a challenge.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. I mean,
if you're going to do it right.
Exactly.
It has to be the best.
For all or
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. Give it all you got and then regroup with what you have.
Okay. So how does a comic get booked on comedy?
Well, the best thing I can tell a guy is get a solid 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes. Okay. Once you get your solid 5 to 6 minutes, then get someone to record your solid 5 to 6 minutes where you're showing what you do. And then Google the comedy clubs that are like just surrounding areas and ask them, hey, can I get your booking information? I'm a person that would like to submit a video to you. Like any other job opportunity you want, put yourself out there, send your content. Because in a lot of sense, if you don't ask, open mouth doesn't get, closed mouth doesn't get fed. And so in a sense, like you want to put yourself out there to let them know like, hey, I'm available. Everyone's not going to bite to that, but some people may see your potential and say, oh man, yeah, I have a show, or yeah, man, I would love to have you a part of this. So that's one way for a person to start. I started with my own movement, Manhattan Raw and Brooklyn Raw, New York. So I got here, was like, these guys is making $150. I can make $150 promote me. You know what I mean? And then from that, it became a thing of like, now I have 40 people ready to come see me. So what do? Then it's like 50 people. Then I have 60. And I'm like, oh, snap. I have something going on here. And so that's how it grew for me.
So like some comics I've seen when I go to comedy clubs, they'll be also comics, but they're doing the promoting part. So, and those are the ones who are getting $150?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, between the comedy, I mean, $150, $300. I mean, no one's not performing. You're not performing for the money until you're trying to get the mics. The mics are more important than the money. Yeah. The more mics. Go ahead.
Oh, so you're seeing, because you see what days are the busiest, who's coming in and out. You're meeting other comedians who are already there. So it's an opportunity to network with them as well.
Absolutely.
But you didn't want to do that. You're like, I'm not doing that middleman stuff. I'm just going straight to the top, right?
Yes.
I love that. I love that.
Yes. That's exactly how I just saw it for myself.
Yeah, cool. And then so when was your first performance and where was it?
My first performance was in 2018 at the Red Rooster.
Oh my God, I love the Red Rooster. I've been there only twice, but holy awesome.
Yeah, Talent the Comedian.
Who?
It was Talent the Comedian, Hamburger. They were on like Def Jam Comedy and they were hosting the show. And I had a red blazer on. And when I sat right in the front and they started making jokes on my blazer. And then they said, what do you do? Who are you? And I said, I'm the funniest guy in here. And then he's like, oh, you think you funny? Get the mic. And they gave me the mic. And I went in my set and they were like, okay. And then people was laughing and they was clapping. And then that's when my career started off. Boom.
So the universe that you were in flow, like it was in flow for you. That's a really cool story.
Yeah.
Wow. At the legendary Red Rooster. Oh my God. Okay. So when things lift a bit more, we definitely need to have some food there.
Oh yes, let's do it.
And so that was downstairs that you performed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I've heard like jazz music, but I haven't seen any stand-up comedy there.
Yeah, so downstairs.
Well, that's so cool. How many nights a week do they have stand-up comedy there?
Well, they were doing it every Talent. He kind of started out with like Chris Rock and all those guys, Chris Tucker. And so Talent was he had his own night there weekly. So right now I don't know what they're gonna do because the pandemic, whatnot. So he had an act and he was like allowing acts to come. So he already had a lineup, and then here I come, and I'm like, I'm the funniest guy in here, and then it's just then people like give him the mic, and y'all picked on him, give him the mic, and they gave me the mic. And
wow.
Yeah, I know. I pinched myself.
If
you asked me what I said, I couldn't remember.
so in the front when you walk in, there's that area where there's a DJ. So I talked to the person there, and I was talking to them about I was going to DJ there, and then the pandemic happened, but I wanted to DJ there. Isn't that so cool? I like really connected with the GM. I don't remember his name. I had his card, but life took its course. But
DJ Masai.
That's him. That's
my guy.
That's
the Masai.
I think that was his name. Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's so cool. Cool. Okay. And then also there was this really cool guy there. You're probably going to know his name. But they had like because I'm a painter too, and they had all these aprons, and our server he's the guy.
He makes them.
He made the whole collection for everyone in the restaurant, and he got a deal, and he was doing very well. And what a great market, because I mean they were so cool. So I had his card. We were gonna do stuff together too, and then you know what happened.
Now you have me though, so I'm like a missing connection. Now you have your Detroit, because like I love them there at the Red Rooster. Shout out to Red Rooster on 125th, guys. If you here, make sure if you're like checking this out, that's definitely a spot that you want to get something to eat. Tell them CoreyBE told you to come there.
Yeah.
They're not going to do nothing but send you some alkaline water. That's it. They're not going to give you no discount, but they might send you some alkaline water on me.
Gotcha. Yeah, cool. No, we're going to send them this, and we'll give them like a little bit, and then they can repost it on their social media to support you. What? Yes. Cool. So what are like some tips for upcoming comics, things we haven't covered? What are some tips for them?
Well, I have a thing called building your bit. Building the healthiest way to build your bit and your personality is and I'll say again, building your bit. It's identifying, is it true? So the best comics tell the truth. They tell the truth as they see it. Richard Pryor, he was giving examples. Richard Pryor never cussed. All of his characters cursed, but Richard Pryor never cursed. So identifying with your story, who you want to be. So for me, I can go so many ranges because funny things happened when I was incarcerated, or funny things happened when I lost my virginity at 24. Like funny things happen at moments. So being able to identify the funny moment, and then being able to understand where to add the joke. So today I'll tell a joke that Probably I'll give an example with my joke after it's over or whatever. I'll give you guys a joke or two.
It's never ending. I don't know what you're talking about. When it's over, that's not happening.
Oh, this is the all night forever, guys. We are here. This is it.
This is the new Clubhouse.
Yeah, Detroit versus everybody podcast. We are doing it.
I need to get some of those. I need some of that gear. Maybe we should reach out to them to be our sponsors.
I know them over there.
Yeah, let's reach out. They need to be the sponsor. What? Let's have that happen. Yeah, do you have any like favorite poets or do you do spoken word poetry? Like what's the vibe in that area?
I can appreciate quotes from like Tavis Smiley. I really enjoy him. I'm not really like a big poetry person. I kind of I have my own sayings that I write. I'm more like good at my own quotes. So I have quotes like, life can be exciting, but don't live life to where excitement runs your life. I write things like that, power, strengthening quotes and stuff. So I'm a reader though. Like the last book I read was Race After Technology.
Wow.
By Ruha Benjamin. And it broke down life after technology and what that looks like and the new Jim Crow code. Like, so I'm always reading things that can enhance my today.
Yes, I love that. Very cool, very cool. Because you so much look like a poet, like I mean.
Oh no, I got it in me now.
Yeah. I mean, you're so much like an artist, obviously.
Yeah. But for sure.
So
some people say that I'm the sexiest comedian in the world. I'm not gonna. I mean, right now I'm having like one of those hair days, but this is the potential of the look. It's gonna like be one of those looks that's like.
No, you are too fly. Like you were like really like you're too hot for this screen. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you how tough I am though. Let me tell you how tough I am. I'm so tough that if we were in the jungle in the safari and I was there and whatnot with you, that if a lion came out of nowhere, I'm so tough that I'm willing to scream so loud, help! It's gonna be the loudest help. Help! It's gonna linger. And I think that lion will be like, we're gonna give them a break.
Yeah. I feel that. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, we know we're safe and secure when we're in the jungle with CoreyBE. Cool. And then, so what's next for you? Like, I know you're performing at the Broadway Comedy Club coming up. And then, so are you just going to perform more around New York? Are you going to make appointments to perform in LA? Do you want to shift into comedy? Do you want to be on screen for TV? Are you going to do musical theater comedy? Like what's on the horizon for CoreyBE?
Well, I decided to retire today. No, I'm joking. No. I mean, as of right now, I have a couple leads on things. I mean, Hollywood is kind of opening back up April 1st. So I'm optimistic that I'll be on Netflix, Hulu. I have a lot of opportunities. My show is being picked up right now. So I'm in treatment level with Comedy Corps. Shout out to Shayna Farrell, Jay Farrell's sister. She's executive producer of the show. And so we have like some cool things going on as far as like my personal projects. And now as far as stand-up comedy, I am a New York comic. New York is home. I love Detroit. I am a Detroiter. Okay. I keep my Detroit hat near, but comedy for me is about building my brand here and showing, being a bridge for Detroit artists that want to come to New York and come to Manhattan and Harlem and all of the beautiful boroughs around here to work. So New York is home. Broadway Comedy Club, Manhattan Raw. My talk show will be up and running with once the pandemic and I figure out like how many people we can have in a crowd and all of that. So hopefully that'll be going on soon. And really just trying to figure out what me and Teron, like Teron is like definitely one of the homies in comedy.
Okay, so I met him on Clubhouse and so like cool. I'm a fan. Awesome. Cause like a few weeks ago he posted a comment and he's like, Clubhouse gang, fire. And so I went to his, and I wasn't even like in a comedy room. It was like a different room. But then I went and I saw who he was and I followed him. Like I didn't like see who he was because I don't know who he is. Like I've never met him in person, but I just love how he like commented Clubhouse gang. And then I just kind of saw he was a comic. So I followed him. but that's it sounds like he's going to be my new friend as well. But cool. So you're doing projects with him too?
Yes. Just working on me and him have some cool things that we'll do once the pandemic is over. To kind of
Okay.
like Brian, Detroit, and
Wait,
myself. And
is he from Detroit too?
no, he's not. Just he loves the fact that I want to do things to be an influence for the city of Detroit.
Well, cool. He's invited to Detroit with us when we do our events.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he can perform too.
We can see it. Yeah, then he could tell us the secret behind. He could tell you the secret behind his robes and why he wears robes. Like he's the coolest like ever
Okay.
with his robe. He wears these robes around the LA, like nice
Nice.
robes.
Yeah.
Like that's just part of his style.
That's
His
his
swag.
vibe. That's so cool. Okay, well with what you just said, I have to tell you. Do you know Vipassana?
Yes.
So I did a 10-day Vipassana in Northern California a few years ago, and it was over the holidays. And for 10 days, for the viewer and listener who do not know Vipassana, I literally you don't look at people in their eyes for 10 days. You're silent for 10 days while you're meditating. And so you're wearing PJs. You don't wear anything flashy. You don't wear jewelry because you don't want to distract. And it's a part of just like getting still and quiet and going within. So I had this boss robe that was this like red, like Christmas red robe, and I wore it for 10 days in a row. And there were 120 people, 60 guys, 60 girls, and guys are over here and girls are over here. And I'm the girl that walked around with the red robe for 10 days. It was like a whole thing. Like everyone was talking
That's
about it
funny.
when you could talk. Yeah. So that's my robe experience. But that's hilarious. That's
That's hilarious.
funny. I'll have to. When I stalk his Instagram more, I'll have to see some photos of him in the red robe. I guess I didn't look too much at his Instagram to see any robes because I didn't see any. But are they on there?
Oh no, the robes are on there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Oh, okay. Now I'll know the story. Some of the story.
Yes.
Cool. Very cool. And then when you mentioned earlier, so the Netflix deal that you're working on, your personal show.
Well, I'll be. It's not a Netflix deal. I want to be very specific. I'm working my project, Comedy Courts. It's a comedy period where the prosecutor, the judge. Sometimes I have a celebrity judge that comes in. So I've had Rodney Perry on my show. Ali Sadiq, Gary Owens has come by through to my show. Monique, Corey Bell, Clayton English from 85 South. I've had Joy Medina, Adele Givens, the beautiful Miss Tina Graham, who started Def Jam Comedy, who started that whole thing, and bringing so many talented artists to the world and showing us who they were. She's a part of comes to my shows and whatnot. And then what I created this is it's an improv show. It's a courtroom parody where the jurors, prosecutors, I said, the judge, and the defense attorney are all comedians, and someone comes with a petty story. So it could be, oh, Corey, my mom needs to step up and cook Thanksgiving dinner because my grandmother's undercooking all the food. Now they can come up and pick a attorney to defend them, and we'll decide, no, you need to step up and cook because your mom don't want to cook and she's tired. She needs to cook for you and you're an adult complaining. So it's kind of like a way to pick at fans and show people how we turn pain into laughter. And so that's the whole theory behind my show. So just preparing the visual deck for that and just being able to be in a position where I'm creating ideas, but people see that this idea could grow. So
Yeah,
that's
cool.
the objective. But I want to make sure that maybe I overtalk myself. I don't have nothing specifically with these people, but I have things that's like some opportunity shows that's already on Netflix that I'm auditioning for to wait because I want to wait to see when
like
I get
a
it.
1 hour special kind of thing.
No, well, more so like there's a show that has 5 seasons on it. I have I have an audition, so they've been creating a role.
So
I
you're
have another show.
Are you
I can't say,
represented for acting?
huh?
So are you represented for acting?
No.
You're not represented for acting, but to go out for TV shows.
I went to HB Studios for acting. I've been to.
Yeah.
I have an acting coach. Shout out to Crystal. She has a lot of people on TV and stuff. So I'm affiliated.
Coach. Okay, I study with Susan Batson. Do you know Susan Batson?
No, I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I guess she was with HB Studios and they broke off years ago, but she has Susan Batson, Batson. She has an amazing book. It's a blue cover. It's called Truth. I definitely highly suggest for you to read
Okay.
the book called Truth. She's Nicole Kidman's personal acting coach for over 20 years now. She's Oprah Winfrey's coach, Liv Tyler,
Okay.
a bunch of people, but I studied with her for a year nonstop when in 2012 I studied with her.
Okay.
But Susan Batson's amazing for studying. Cool. Yeah, it sounds like you need some kind of agent to be representing you as a comic, so you can be on on the TV shows as a stand-up comic.
I mean, it's only been the thing is, let's not count 2020. No one worked. So I started in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So I did all 2019. I did my first comedy special, Booed Up. Relationships ain't bleep. I don't want to blur, but and I did that, and then you have 2019. I'm discovering myself more and more. And then you have 20 that no one really lived through because of things. So I believe that I would have probably I turned down 90 Day Fiance. Not what was it? It's a spinoff from 90 Day Fiance, like Love Island. It's a lot of shows that wanted me to be on it. I turned down. I could talk about the shows I turned down. I turned down. What is it? Soulful Christmas to be Don Cornelius for Soul Train, because I wasn't prepared with my acting. I wanted to be very with theater. That was off Broadway. I wanted to be prepared. So now that I'm prepared, I have kind of all of the right people in my life right now. TJ Stein has reached out for management. And he managed some of the top celebrities in the world. It's just not to panic right now, because I just had a year to sit off and not do anything. So for me to be on the last OG, to have worked, background, to have so many greats. I mean, I sat down and talked to Angela Bassett for 3 hours. My uncle's the most recorded jazz musician in history. So I have a palette to reference towards. It's just about engulfing now. So I don't need an agent right now. I don't need a manager right now. I just need to keep working on CoreyBE. And then all of the elements are going to come. For sure.
Flow, they'll come together. This is great for the listener and the viewer to not rush things and have this illusion, the idea that you need certain things. Just trust the process and enjoy the process. A lot of people want to get to the end goal, the destination of the end goal, when the end goal isn't probably going to be what you envisioned it to be anyway, because life takes its course as it does. But just to really enjoy the process of writing and researching and being connected with people on an authentic level and being true to yourself. So it sounds like you have a really great head on your shoulders and a beautiful blossoming career going on.
Thank you.
So.
And one last thing I want to say, a saying that a lot of people say, Hollywood's going to call you. They'll call you.
Yeah.
They will call you. You don't have to worry about it. Just keep doing you.
Love that.
They will call you. They'll call you and say, hey, we love what you're doing. We see you. They see you. It's just a matter of time and your timing and you being authentic. So continue to be authentic and it'll happen. A lot of people go to Hollywood, go to LA and they didn't know that they should have just stay with where they were at and to be familiarized with LA, but stay with where they're at. Now you're there and then your brand tarnishes because you're in Hollywood. It's people that could change a life like this and it's just a tax write-off for them. Person can give you $5 million. That $5 million is $10 million. And you could make your film. So it's not when people have scenarios where, oh, I'm about to have a project, I have this pop. No, it's people that really would say, here we go, it's done. Well, now I have this project going on. I have this. So understanding the momentum of your artistic journey. So I understand my artistic journey is going to have, but so much in it. The fact that I'm an artist, I'm healthy. We've lost so many people during COVID. Rest in peace to everyone that's lost so many people. And we've had so many great moments in COVID. So just this being over, I'm excited to have met people like you. We have a healthy algorithm we can socialize on. And I think those are the biggest things that are artists that needs these things that we know we need, to focus on. And it'll make you appreciate reaching and teaching one at a time. One at a time.
Yep.
One person at a time, and you'll get whoever you want.
It really is. It's one person at a time. It starts with us. We're a part of the ripple effect.
Hey, that's how it goes.
Yeah, yeah, that's so cool. That's so cool. One shout out to the pit, because I only did a 6 week class in New York before the pandemic happened, and that was my first time ever really doing the comedy. And I did it in New York, and then they had me after my graduation. After 6 weeks, I had a 5 minute thing at the pit, and so people on here who are in New York or just want to do a 6 week course for basic 101 comedy. I'm not an affiliate with the pit, but I think the pit's a really great landing space for people, because I was, by Coastal LA in New York, and I know all the joints in LA. So
Right.
I was like, okay, so what are the top 5 in LA? I looked, and I'm like, what are the top 5 in New York? And then I looked, and the pit came up, and
Yes.
it was a couple months before my birthday. I'm like, oh, this is just going to be a birthday gift to myself. So I did that. And that's kind of like my background. But before earlier, it was really difficult for me to get involved into comedy, because I was so emotionally attached to all of my stuff that I wasn't able to be vulnerable. I didn't have the courage, and I was having this public persona, so I wasn't able to dismantle the projection of people pleasing and what other people would think about me, being judged and judging myself. So I actually tried comedy with Joey Paul Jensen, who's amazing
Mm.
casting director, and Billy Ryback, who's a great comedy writer. If you know him, Billy Ryback, he would write for the Golden Globes, and Tim Allen, who's from Michigan, where we're from, and a bunch of other people. And anyhow, they tried to like get me involved in the whole comedy thing, but I was so emotionally attached to myself self that I wasn't able to get involved. And then after I traveled the world and did a bunch of things in the world, like She's All Over the Place, the podcast, I was dismantling those things, because you said you have to speak from the truth and the experiences of what you've been through, and you also have to be ready to be able to be open and vulnerable. And not only that, the comedians are very, very intelligent, so you you need to be highly intelligent to be a comedian, because the great ones are just like you. The great ones are very smart, very smart.
Yes, I agree.
um yeah. And then I guess lastly, I want to close out with saying that I am going to do my hardest not to laugh, because with the technology, I don't want you to miss a word or something. So when you do some bits, I'm going to be over here like going like this, but not laughing out loud, just so the listener can fully enjoy without my big mouth getting in the way.
I got you. I got you.
Cool. So would you like to close us out with some comedy? That would be such a treat.
Sure. I'll give you guys something. Okay. Well, first of all, let me say I'm comic CoreyBE, CoreyBE. It's a constant reminder. The reason why my name is CoreyBE, to remind kids to being the best version of themselves. Okay. Sometimes you gotta give yourself that push in life. So that's why I added BE to my name, guys. And it's a reminder that Corey gonna be late. I'm gonna be late. I'm late all the time. I knew what this podcast is called, so I was just trying to get myself together. I was ready. I was gonna tell her like I'm all over the place, and this is the name of this, so that's why I thought I was on there. Now, let me say this, guys. I do have a little plea. I have a plea for being kind of broke. I've been kind of broke lately. You know, it's tight when the only time you get to use lotion is when you're giving somebody a massage. That's how tight it is for me. I have to go over to somebody's house and say, oh, can I use some of your lotion? I'm over at my neighbor's house, looking at my hands, they're real ashy, because it's tight. No comedians are making money. Look, I went on a date the other day, y'all. Now, my thing is this. Some people say that Black people, we think we the coolest. Some people say this white folks is uptight. I won't say neither, okay? But what I will say is this. The Chinese people need to learn some sensitivity. I'm on this date. This lady didn't hand me my card back, talking about prepaid card decline. Why should you have to tell this lady my money situation? She didn't front me off and let the lady know I got a prepaid card. She looked at me and said, I thought you was an anesthesiologist. We know we all don't tell the truth on Tinder. I'm like, no, I'm close to my cousin anesthesia. You know, autocorrect be messing up. I'm CoreyBE, y'all. Thank y'all so much, man. Thank y'all for like just listening to some of my style or whatnot, guys. And by the way, what did I say to the lady that for those that want to know? I told her and I said, look, my card didn't decline. It's trying to decide if it's trying to pay for this date or not. Okay? So that's what happened, y'all. That's my story. I had to tell it my way. I'm CoreyBE. Thank you so much.
Cool.
I just want to hit a little something. I just, because I'm like a long storyteller.
Me too, obviously.
I'm like playing long storyteller, but that's just like that's like one of my tag jokes. Yeah. I got a good stock joke for you.
Please.
All right, here's a good one. It was a family, okay? It was a family and they wanted to have a child. And they were like, baby, you know what? The wife said to the husband, she said, baby, let's go to a fertility bank and let's go ahead and see if we can go there and maybe we can do it that way. And so the husband said, you know what, honey, I'll do it. The doctor warned them both. This baby could have some malfunctions. Something can happen. And the child comes out just a head. It was just a head, nothing else. And the family loved this baby, just a head. Loved the baby, just no neck, no nothing. And loved the baby all the way till he was 20 years old. And the father said, son, tomorrow you're going to be 21. I'm going to take you to get your first drink. He took him to get his first drink. The most magnificent, craziest thing happened. The boy has a shot. The father pours a shot in his mouth. The boy grows a neck, arm, and shoulders, and everything. He gives him another shot. He grows his torso, his knees, his legs. He gives him another shot. The boy stands up and he dies. The bartender said he should have just stopped when he was just ahead.
You came up with that?
Huh?
You came up with that?
It's just a stock joke.
Oh, it's a stock joke.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
stock.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Just stock joke.
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, I like long form storytelling. Thank you. And I feel like Kevin, when I was watching all these comedians, because I got a list when I was in the class of all these people to watch, I just went on a binge and I was just watching to see, who's who. And when I was watching Kevin Hart, it took a while for me to understand his comedy because he's just really all over this place and he does a long form, but it all weaves in. But he's kind of hard to keep up with energetically. But
yes,
you have to like listen to him for a while to kind of get his flow.
He has a way.
Do you have you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's a way. It's a way of like for example, let's say if all right, here we go. I'm about to create a story right now. This is a creation. So I'm thinking about spelling, how people sometimes struggle spelling. Okay. Are you a Christian?
Me?
Yeah. Would you consider yourself?
I'm Greek Orthodox Christian.
Can you spell Deuteronomy for me? Spell
what?
Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy.
The books of Deuteronomy, isn't that in the Bible? Or can you spell first and second? Can you spell Corinthians?
No, I mean, yes.
All right, my point. All right,
so
C-O-R. This is about to get into my joke. I'm not saying you can't, but these aren't words that we spell on an everyday basis. Okay, so I'm about to get into my joke. Think I can't spell. So my area, if I was going to write a joke, because the whole time during the pandemic, I've been writing themes. Okay.
Right. Did you hear that, people? During the pandemic, he's been writing his work, not doing nothing.
Themes to keep me busy, because it's like not fun if I'm not performing it, but I could write down irritating things about cooking. Okay. And then, or I might do a theme that says what I hate about shopping. So I hate a lot of things about shopping. Shopping with my grandmother at a time, maybe shopping at the grocery store with a woman. Let's say if I want to write jokes, like I write themes that I can tag a lot of stuff to. So right now it's spelling. Okay. So I could start off with the joke and say, I'm on a date, y'all, and I'm gonna date everybody. And I know I messed up when I got a text and I answered the text back. First of all, you shouldn't be texting at the phone anyway if you're on a date. I should have my phone down, okay? And fellas, 100%. I'm not talking about face down. I'm talking about having it down up. That tells you, ladies, I don't cheat, okay? Now let me say this, but I'm not doing that. I'm on the phone. So I'm on the phone texting. And I see my date, she's paying attention. And then out of nowhere, guys, as I'm texting, I stop and I say, definitely. Like, now, my point is this. The fact that she wanted to stop the date because she saw that I couldn't spell definitely and I needed to use audio speaker to spell that's on her. Who's she judging? You know? Like, ma'am, can you spell definitely? And then I can hand the mic to somebody and that could throw them off and in the crowd, and then I can pull the mic back, people laugh. I'm like, no, seriously, like, you have different type of people. If language that was that important to her, she could have sent me a voice message that says, if we were out on our first date and there was an emergency, what would you do, CoreyBE? And I would have said to her, call an ambulance. And right then and there, with me saying ambulance and our ambulance, she would have known that I might struggle with reading or struggle with using audios. Like, this is improv right now. So taking it and letting it go organically, like, and just letting it grow.
Oh, that's your vibes. That's your vibes.
That's my vibes. Not when I'm performing, but this is, I don't know why it's calling. I put it on. I'm so sorry.
What?
No, I got a phone call while I was on the phone with you.
You're popular, obviously, duh. CoreyBE is so popular. I don't know how we're on the phone this so long. I mean, but you've gotten like 17 calls since we've been talking.
I don't know how, and I actually did put it on airplane. I don't know.
Airplane?
Not airplane. I mean,
the moon mode.
The moon mode. I did press the moon.
Yeah. Steve Jobs, you're closer to the moon right now than us. What is going on? That was some improv.
Yep. Hey, we got one. It's the sign that I line. When the sign that I line.
Yeah, see, your good energy. That energy gave me the permission to be able to do that. So people, listen, you need to be around people. You need to find people. It's an energy. It's a flow, because what I just came up with, I've never said in my life. And I don't know if you think it's genius, but I do.
No, it was.
Okay. Yeah. Because I mean, I just played off of what you gave me. And so to be around people who have that vibe is like what we're here sharing and telling you while we're having this moment, because life is this. We're here for one long moment. What are we doing?
And it's so real for comedians. Look, hey guys, I'm working. There we go. I'm sorry. My daughter, I have a 7-year-old.
Oh, congratulations. What's her name?
Oh, Kaylee.
Kaylee, that's so cute.
Listen, she's I think she could possibly be funnier than me. She's 7.
Is she around? Does she want to come on and do a bit?
No, she's not. No, she's not here with me right now, but she's 7. And she's like changes between what she wants to be in life. She's like, Dad, I want to dig up dinosaur bones. Naturally, what did I say as a dad? I'm like, oh, you want to be an archaeologist? She's like, Dad, no, like you can't teach me. I want to be a paleontologist. I'm like,
right.
She's one of those.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Then she asked me after that, what school did you go to? That's what she asked me after that.
Wow.
I know. I'm like, I was looking at her like, oh, okay. All right.
Oh, so earlier when you said dad joke, now I get it, because you're an actual dad, which makes you so much more likable for the whole world, because the perspective of where you sit, your seat in the world, you're able to reach more audiences with your jokes and compassion for being a dad, being a family member, being an advocate for family and humanity, but also for the children. That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah. I feel for all the dads who let the girls, like, I feel like her mother must whisper in her ear, like how to like kind of work me a little bit. I think her mother told my daughter, like, this is how you get your dad's heart. You want to get close to his heart. This is how to talk to him, because she does pretty good. I have a great daughter. She's very smart. She gets everything right. She was student of the month in December and when school opened back up. I'm like, do y'all have any other smart kids in this school? So like, she's always accomplishing a lot of stuff. She's asked me so many questions. She wants to be funny like me, and she wants to be tall like me. I'm 6'4", so my daughter wants to be a big person.
Okay. So this is what I want to share, and okay, no pun intended if I said it before, but this is a bit premature. Ha ha ha. No pun intended, because she's 7. But I've never, ever invited a 7-year-old on my show. But if you ever want your daughter on my show, we need to get a permission slip from the mother.
Yes.
But anytime she is ready, whenever she's ready, and we want to bring Kaylee on.
She's funny.
She's invited. It can be whatever she wants to talk about. Funny. Then bring it. Then let's have her on the show. It'd be really cool. I would love that. Let's honor her. And one day, whenever she's ready and you're ready, let's have her on the show. That'd be super fun.
What I'll do is I will ask Kaylee to describe how it is when I'm cooking. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard a child do. She described me she said, Dad, you make the foods, make it seem like you're going to cook something that's special. But Dad, it's just a burger. I was like, I do. I'm like, I got the chef, the suit, the everything. Like, I want to be cool too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I know I'm not a soccer mom, but everyone doesn't have a dad that's cool like me. Like,
I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but you definitely do not look like a soccer mom.
See, I already see your team, Kaylee. This is, you see, I think I've been giving you 45 minutes of my life, 5 minutes of my daughter, and you choose her. Women, you guys stick together. And I'm gonna tell you this.
Well, it's important to make a choice, right?
Listen, yes, it is. When you're dealing with a woman, know that she's right, for one. Okay? Listen, fellas, my trainer's a woman. And one time it's so crazy when she had Beyonce come on. I'm like, can we turn that off? She's like, what did you say? I'm like, can we turn that song off? And I didn't realize it was Beyonce. I had worked out. I totally understand it. My glutes were so tight. I'm like, I get it who run the world's girls. So I just want to make sure everybody know. I know who run the world. That's it. Because you see how she's going slow? She's going deep in it like, yeah, that's right. You smooth that over. All right, look, she got that finger. I got you.
Well, since you mentioned that, I do have a short story, and then we'll wrap it up because I know,
absolutely,
because I'm sure you have other things to be doing, like spending time with your awesome 7-year-old daughter. So the vibe is this. In 2007, I was in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I did a film with Jessica Simpson, and I played her best friend. I was her makeup artist. It's called Major Movie Star. It was major, and it was like huge in Germany. Anyway, so we had these like amazing dinners, right? Like after the movie, and Joe Simpson, her dad, because he was like manager or whatever, growing up in their careers, but he was there. And I don't know the whole deal about whatever, but he's sitting at the head of the table. And then it's, the producer, and then it's me, and then the director, Steve Miner's across from us. And I remember Joe Simpson, when in 2007, he said it as clear as day. It was so good. There was like this long table. It was like a long table, and like 15 people, 20 people. And here's Joe Simpson, and I'm right here, right? And he just says this in the conversation. He says, he's married, I guess. I don't know. But he says, the woman's always right. And when he said that, it doesn't matter what it is. Just if you just know any better, it doesn't matter who's wrong or right. The woman's always right. So
absolutely.
When he said that, it was just really impactful, and it just really struck a chord. And I just kind of always remember that, like, the woman's always right. I like that.
Yeah, it's like no pressure.
You know what's up. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Cool. Okay, well, it's such a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for having me
so much. Seriously, you're amazing, and we'll see you, and we'll hear you in Clubhouse really soon.
Yes.
And yeah, so I'm really excited.
I really enjoyed this. May I say one last thing?
Oh, you can say anything.
I just want to say, guys, to all of her listeners, one of the most passionate people I've met in a long time. Katie, thank you so much for having me on. I love your process. I'm definitely going to let people know that like you are official, everything about you, even your patience, to have patience. I mean, guys, you may not know this or even know it, but I had some technical difficulties, excuse me. And for her to just come in and just help and warm me through it. And you took some breaths with me. Remember, you was like, come on, Corey, breathe, Corey. It was like I was having a baby.
Let's take the deepest breath we've taken all day in the nose.
She's like, let it out. Wipe your tears, Corey. It's okay.
Let's reset. Let's reset the neurotransmitters. We have 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day. 90% of our thoughts are the same thoughts. What thoughts are we having? We fire, we wire, we fire, we wire, we unfire, we unwire, according to Dr. Joe Dispenza. So just to start on a clean slate for the listener, for the viewer, we wanted to really set the tone, leave everything there, and just realign and center and breathe together and be here fully for you. So that's why we're here. We're here fully for you. I
was so relaxed when you told me to breathe, and you would not have known because I let out gas. It was a silent killer though. It was. That's why I kept making a face. I wasn't about to cry. When you said breathe the way I did, I never breathed. And she's like, have your hands up, Corey. Put your knee up. And I had my knee up. And she was like, and I just let her, it was just, and that was it. That was it. But you didn't know.
I'm telling, this is the first time I've ever said this in my life. I love those silent killers. Like, I love them.
You're like, yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to have bubbly stomach. You're like so excited. Hey, look, you know what's so funny about this? You guys get to see that I have like some like I'm like a color coordinate type of guy. Like, you know, I'm like big with the style. You
Black
know,
and
even
gray,
my
black and gray.
even my sweats when I want, because I'm supposed to be showing the top up. I'm like moving around. I'm like, oh shoot, they see I have sweats on. But I'm totally glad that I came to your show. Anytime you need me, I want to come back.
Yes. Oh no. I mean, seriously, I would love to have you back immediately. Like, that's definitely. I
Absolutely.
would
Maybe we could come in a theme or something, or I could come and do like a show. I wasn't prepared, but I have like 1,000 things running through my mind.
Yeah.
And I also know this is a show for everyone, so I have to take so much out of my mind for the record.
Yeah,
but I'm always prepared.
We planted a seed, and
Yes.
God willing, it's the first of many, and it'll be different subjects all the time, right? That's the point.
Absolutely,
She's all over the place. It's I'm an advocate for mental health. I'm an advocate for environmental justice, social injustice, Black Lives Matter, LGBTQA plus community, women empowerment. I'm here for the artists. I'm here for the planet and for the world and for the human
Are
connection.
you here to let me borrow $20? No,
22. How about 22? 22. Is that cool? Venmo, no problem. 22. I got 22. I got you. 22. No, seriously, when I send money to people, like if I'm sending like $100, I don't send 100. I send 111.11 cents. I'm one of those people. If I'm gonna send you like $50, I'm gonna send you 55.55.
Got you. I'm about to start doing that.
Yeah, my birthday's 11/11, so I'm a numbers girl.
I love your energy. It's so magnificent.
Takes one to know one.
Ooh, look at that. Ooh, look at Hey, look, that's point. That's wrong. Let's make them jealous. You make sure you add her. She's a one. She's cool.
11111, hun. What's the 411? I'll tell you the 411. I'm 313. What? I get it right from 7 Mile West Side.
We get it right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love it, Katie. I gotta go, Katie. I don't want to leave you.
It's been real.
It's been so real.
Yeah. Next time I'm not going to be so polite. I'm going to do what Joe Rogan and all the other podcasters do. I'm going to be like, ha, 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 all over the mic.
I know you used to do one with like having your head down. Like start the show like, start the show like going off on someone. And then come back and be like, hi.
Can we do that next time?
And look, next time, like have a whole, like don't even have nobody there. Like, what do you mean? You don't deserve to go on break. Do you not know? And then come here and be like, hello. It's good to have you. That'd have been so funny.
We're gonna do that. Okay, until next time, everyone, thank you so much for listening, for watching, for being here.
Yes.
We are flossing and bossing, and I know you want to show this with everyone because we're so gorgeous and beautiful, and we have so much value and insight to gift to you. So make sure you share with your friends and family. Make sure you like and subscribe, and like keep it real and stay positive and cool. And then just check out the show notes below. We're gonna have all the stuff we talked about in the show notes, and definitely follow CoreyBE and keep it real, and be on the lookout for like all of his performances and follow his journey. Show love, support Detroit. What's up? And keep it real. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. And we are out.
Peace.